Hello, my name is Sean and this is Cruise Through Life. Today we're going to talk about 10 cruise mistakes first-time cruisers should avoid. The first mistake first-time cruisers make is booking the wrong cabin. Not that there are bad cabins, because there really is no bad cabin on a ship, in my opinion, but there are some potentially problematic cabins. Cabins that are near the elevators or under the pool deck can be noisy and interfere with your sleep. If your cabin is above the casino and your cruise line permits smoking in the casino, you may smell that in your cabin. These don't necessarily make the cabin bad, but they are things to be aware of. Some cruisers also book an inside cabin when they find out that there is not even a window. That is a disappointment to them. So always make sure you research your cabin type and location using the deck plans, and try to find cabin tours of your specific cabin on YouTube. And if you can't find your specific cabin, try to find one that's on the same deck relatively nearby. The next mistake first-time cruisers make is not researching the cruise line and the ship well enough before booking a cruise. Every cruise line offers different experiences. Some cater to families, while others are more luxury or party-focused. It is very important to research your cruise line and the ship you are sailing on before you go. You don't want to be sailing as a family with 2 young children only to find out you've booked on a luxury line where the demographic is mostly older people and there is little to do for your children. Even if you do choose to sail on a family-friendly line, older, smaller ships have less to do. So you want to make sure you sail on a ship with activities your family will enjoy. If you want the water slides, roller coasters, go-karts, and other activities, you need to make sure you're on a newer, bigger ship. The next mistake that new cruisers make is skipping travel insurance. Now, no one likes to think about this one, but emergencies happen all day, every day, and everywhere. Skipping travel insurance can lead to you being stuck with a huge medical bill or trip cancellation costs. Some travel insurance will even reimburse you if you miss a port of call on your cruise. Most travel insurance policies also insure you for lost or stolen belongings, even your entire suitcase if it goes missing. So travel insurance is an absolute must for every trip you take, not just for cruising. The next mistake that new cruisers make is flying in the day of their sailing. Flights get delayed, and if you are choosing to fly in on embarkation day, this could mean you end up missing your cruise. The best thing you can do is fly in the day before and get a hotel, and that way you are ready for embarkation day and do not have to rush around the morning of. It is a really stressful way to start your vacation. I usually drive into cruises as I live in Florida, but even I still make sure to leave very early to give myself plenty of time to get there, and depending on which port I'm sailing from, I'll even drive up the day before. If it's Jacksonville or Orlando, I'm definitely going the day before. The next mistake that first-time cruisers make is ignoring the daily schedule, especially on sea days. Cruise ships have tons of activities for all types of passengers, shows, games, contests, tournaments, and more. And if you're not checking out the daily schedule, you have no idea that any of this is going on unless you just happen to walk into it. All cruise lines have a daily planner in their app, and if you prefer a paper copy, you can usually request one from your cabin steward. I personally prefer a paper copy to the app. I just find it easier to use myself. Definitely check out the schedule to see what's going on, and don't make this cruise mistake. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. Have you made any of the cruise mistakes on the list so far? Let me know in the comments down below, and while you're down there, please subscribe to my channel with the notification bell turned on so that you don't miss any future cruise content. The next cruise mistake is skipping or not paying attention to the muster drill. This safety drill is mandatory and it can be critical during an emergency. While emergencies rarely happen on cruise ships, if there is one, you will be thankful you paid attention. Skipping the muster drill altogether is just a generally bad idea. As I said, it is mandatory for all passengers, and skipping it will get your name called over the PA system to report to your muster station, and nobody wants to be called out right at the start of their vacation. And if you continue to ignore it, they will find you, and if you still refuse to go, it will result in you being kicked off of your cruise, so just do it. These days, I think Disney is the only line that still requires an in-person muster drill. Every other line, you can just watch the safety video on your phone before you cruise, and all you have to do is scan your cruise card at your muster station, and it's done and over. This is always the first thing I do when I get on my cruise, so it's done and I don't have to worry about it anymore. The next cruise mistake is forgetting to put your phone in airplane mode. Now, you're going offshore, away from local cell towers, and this means your phone is going to go into roaming mode, and it will rack up a huge bill. The last thing you want to do when you come home from your vacation is to find out you have $1,000+ cell phone bill because you didn't put your phone into airplane mode. Now, the cruise lines do their best to tell people with signs and even have people at the internet cafe area of the ship that will help you do this if you need it. And you can still use Wi-Fi while airplane mode is turned on, so that's not something you have to worry about. Despite this, every once in a while you do hear a story about someone who forgot or ignored those signs and got a massive cell phone bill. Speaking of bills, at the end of your cruise, for our next cruise mistake, I recommend checking your online account throughout your cruise. You don't have to do it constantly or even daily, but you do want to make sure that you check it, especially if you don't have a drinks package and are indulging. This can add up fast and leave you with a massive bill at the end of your cruise, so you want to make sure that you are being budget conscious for those cruise extras and paying attention to just how much you are spending. The cruise card makes it really easy to forget that we are spending real money while on board. It is also important to check this because on occasion it happens that a charge meant for someone else will end up on your account. For example, if there's a charge for a drink on your account at 3 a.m. when you know you were sound asleep, this is something that you can get corrected at guest services on board the ship, but it is almost impossible to correct it once you have disembarked, so you want to make sure that you do this while you are on board. Our next cruise mistake is not staying hydrated. Now, I know it, you're on vacation, you want to party and have fun, and you have a drinks package, but you have to ensure that you are staying hydrated, especially on a longer sailing. If it's a weekend booze cruise, you might be alright to do 3 or 4 days of heavy drinking in a row, but not if it's a longer sailing. Even if you are not indulging in a drink package, if you're sailing somewhere hot like the Caribbean or Bahamas, you want to make sure that you stay hydrated. Heat stroke is a real thing and you do not want to get it, especially if you made the other cruise mistake of skipping travel insurance. Water is safe to drink on the ship, but if you are in a port of call, make sure you stick to bottled water purchased from a reputable vendor. The final cruise mistake first-time cruisers should avoid is waiting until the last minute to disembark. Most first-time cruisers don't realize how long the process can actually take, especially if they do not plan to self-assist. You do not want to be trying to hunt down your bag, rushing through the security, get a taxi or rideshare, and try to catch a 12 p.m. flight when you didn't get off the ship until 11. Personally, I always do self-assist, meaning I carry my own luggage off the ship. It saves a lot of time and hassle of trying to hunt down your bag in the port, and it means you can leave the ship at any time rather than waiting for your designated group time. This wraps up our list of 10 common mistakes that first-time cruisers make. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you on board sometime soon.